position where a touchdown would really put them in the driver's seat. Hamilton came with the blitz and got to Detilio each time.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats have been blitzed by the Alouettes, as we told you a moment ago, in those second halves of 3 games between the two teams. But there's one also important consideration there as Detilio brings the Alouettes out, and that is 6 weeks ago. I don't think this Hamilton team, and that's the last time they played before today, is the same team we're seeing at the present time. In fact, I know they aren't.
Well, there's no question about that, well, really neither team is the same, because at that time, Alouettes were just coming off that big purge midway through the season, and Detilio was just being installed as the #1 quarterback, and he was learning at that time. But I think the biggest change for Hamilton has been in their offense, with Marler being put in as the #1 quarterback. Lemmerman has retired, and now he's been carrying the load over the last 5 or 6 ball games when these two teams haven't seen each other. So you have to look at Marler as being the biggest difference between the two teams from the 3 games they played earlier this year.
Plus some people that have come back from a horrendous string of injuries on the Hamilton team. The most prominent the last couple of games has been Gordy Patterson, number 34, their receiver, who was not with this team, as we told you before, until very late in the season. Well, the officials now and the team captains have conferred to determine who's going to kick and receive here to get this second half underway, and it should be a good one. They certainly were in scoring situations on many, many occasions, but neither one could drive it in, as the defenses were very, very tough. And I'll tell you this much, either defense is going to have to be awfully tough next weekend when they play the Edmonton Eskimos for the big one, the Grey Cup game at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto next Sunday afternoon. Of course, as you've heard, we'll have it for you on CBC television, ESPN in the United States, and our good friends in Mexico will be looking in again next weekend too.
We'll have to take some Spanish lessons between now and then, Don.
Si, senor.
Sí.
You too, Tom.
Non comprende, amigo.
Por favor. Well, there have been a couple of big plays in the game by Hamilton, as the folks from Bridgewater, Nova Scotia are here. And one by Montreal. Their biggest gain was the pass to Biletnikoff, Hamilton's 2 principal long gainers. A pass to Holland, good for 33 yards, and a 21-yard dash by Ovi Graves, who really didn't get on track the way he can in that first half.
There's something that they don't sell too many of in Mexico, as a matter of fact. That is the heat blower here in the bench of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You folks in Mexico, that's to keep us just a little bit warmer. It's freezing here, right on the nose at about 32 degrees Fahrenheit, or 0 Celsius this afternoon. So that's how they try to keep a little bit warm or take the chill off. Anyway, here we go.
Hamilton will take the kickoff. Ovi Graves at his 8-yard line starts it up. And Carl Braisley wrestles him down at the Hamilton 30-yard line. So we have very similar conditions weather-wise for the Western Final yesterday and now this Eastern Final here today.
Let's just hope it holds for one more week and we get a day like this in Toronto next week for the Grey Cup, as you said. We'll be there.
We'll take that.
I know, Tom, being down there in the sideline, you'll take one more day like this.
You betcha. Marler, Patterson, and Pedersen, which sounds like a law firm, had a meeting just before they went out in the field. See if they can get things together in the second half.
Graves, a good burst. It'll be a first down. A gain of 14 yards up at the 44. Guano and Rhino made the tackles. Hamilton, you're comparing, started their series in the first half throwing and now come right out running here with their biggest runner, Obi Graves.
Now Glenn Weir, number 64, who's almost playing over that center, gets blocked there. He loses his footing, and a good job by Ed Fulton and Ed George on that right side to open up a big hole for Graves.
There's the fake to Obi. Here's the rush, and Gregoire has got Marler all wrapped up back at the 31-yard line. Number 99, Gabriel Gregoire. Nobody touched him on the way through.
Well, Ed George, he just beat him cleanly here. He's going to come from the right side of the screen. There's a little fake, exactly the same play. And you can see how Gregoire went to the inside of George. If they'd given the ball to Graves, he would have got another good gain because Gregoire guessed inside and just beat George right to the quarterback.
He guessed right. Loss on the play of 11 yards. Second down at 21 now, back of the Hamilton 32-yard line. Myler steps up for Patterson. Right in front of him and almost intercepting it was Dickie Harris. Harris thought he had the intercept. And that little jostling between he and Patterson pried the ball free, but it's going to be third down and long for the Hamilton Tiger Cats starting out this second half.
A couple of real veterans, Dickie Harris, number 18, and Gord Patterson. Myler moved up into the pocket here, did not get a lot on the ball as he threw it here a little off balance, and Dickie Harris had the great shot at the interception, and Patterson was the one who almost pulled it out of his hands and made the reception.
So Montreal on the punch and get it back at about the same spot. Ruah standing inside his 20-yard line. Aims for the sidelines. It is to Rhino. Randy Rhino up the sidelines. Look out, he's got one man to beat. It is the punter Ruah, but he fell down in front of him. Rhino can't believe it. He had the punter to beat and lost his footing. We'll be back with Montreal on the move right after this. Nonetheless, they have the ball at the 35-yard line of Hamilton. And they give it to Skip Walker up the middle with a pile of Ticats all over him at the 31-yard line. He's got 4 to 5. Jim Hyten, the principal tackler, number 58. No doubt if he blasted through Ruah, he was gone into the end zone as a big hole opened up on the sidelines for Rhino on that last play.
And I said Joe Hocko's in for David Green. I wonder how David Green is on the bench.
They have had Walker and or Green out different times during this game. Over the middle for Nick Araki, the big tight end. He is taken down in a first down situation for Montreal at the 23-yard line by Randy Graham.
Nick Araki, who Coach Joe Scannella said always plays well against Hamilton. That's one of the reasons he got the starting assignment over Chuck McMahon, number 33, makes his first reception of the afternoon.
Baker and Biletnikoff both wide left. That's the direction that DeTilio is headed. He cannot get it away. It is ruled down. He was hit by Harold Woods. Came down to the 30-yard line. The play is dead as the knee touched the turf.
Well, Don, there's an adjustment that they made already with the rollout coming to the left. DeTilio has been able to get outside all the time since Wayne Smith has been hurt, and they had to move Glenn Robinson to the outside. They brought Harold Woods, the safety, in for containment here, not the linebacker. He's the one that got in and made the hit on DeTilio.
Just got enough of him to make that knee touch right there and deaden that play, but the man you referred to, Robinson, has been injured as a result of the contact in the last play. Glenn Robinson, back with the Ticats for his first game, is in obvious pain down there at the present time.
Well, we did a game here last year when Glenn Robinson was playing, I believe, his second game with the Tiger Cats and broke his leg right in a goal line stand.
Well, I hope we're not seeing a repeat of that as they are working on the legs.
Seem to be working on his right leg.
Let's see what might have happened here. Robinson is number 79.
Well, there he is right there. He's the guy that's down on the ground right now, and he's sort of unhappy, I'm sure, because he has not been lucky here in a Tiger Cat uniform over a period of 2 years.
They're still attending to him, as you can see. Trying to flex that right leg. Get it back to where it should be. Played about 4 minutes in this third quarter. The score is unchanged from the half, although Montreal certainly with a glorious scoring opportunity here. He's getting up. Robinson apparently is all right. He trots off. Second down and 17 yards to go for the Alouettes. DeTilio, quick pop, complete. Still going is Skip Walker. Walker to the 20-yard line, but he's well short of the first down. He simply recovered about 10 of the yards that Montreal had given up in the previous play, and a bit more. It's going to be third down and 8 down. And here comes number 17, Gerald McGrath, with the Alouette field goal team.
Well, this football game has certainly put the foot back into it, hasn't it? The goals. 4 of them were good, 1 wide. Here we go with number 6.
Yes, they have installed about this point time and time again, both clubs, in their quest for a major score.
You have to start to wonder if any of them have a fake in there at this stage of the game.
27-yarder coming up. And through from Jerry McGrath. So Montreal, off and on all day, is at a 4-point lead. That is on right now as they lead by a score of 10-6 over the Hamilton Tiger Cats, with about 5 minutes gone here in this third quarter at Ivor Wynne Stadium in Hamilton.
Don, the way this game is going, it looks like it could go right down to the last play, as the semifinal game between Ottawa and Montreal did. Neither team being able to put that consistent march together, and I think it just shows you what type of defensive teams both these clubs have.
Russ, this looks like one of those one-play games. Could just bust it all wide open.
That's right. Rhino almost had the play going for him a few moments ago when he slipped in front of Ruoff. Here's Obi Graves. And it was Brazeley who got a piece of him enough to slow him and then get some help and limit the gain to about 3.5 yards.
Boy, Brazeley and Wilson, the 2 inside safeties for Montreal, have been doing an excellent job all afternoon of reading that short pitch to Graves. They had a lot of success against Toronto with that 2 weeks ago. They have been right up in that defense, in the offensive backfield, every time they've had that pitch.
Graves now has 66 yards and 11 carries for Hamilton today. 2nd down and 6.5. Got all day to throw, and he can't find his receiver. He overthrew Leif Pettersson, being covered by Woodrow Wilson at center field. Really, you can't give a quarterback much more time than they gave Myler there.
Well, the entire defensive line just sat on the line of scrimmage. It was almost like they were looking for a draw play or a screen pass or something different, and everybody seemed to be moving at the wrong time. The whole play seemed to be mixed up offensively and defensively.
Well, the big Tiger Cat, the biggest of them all, Harold Ballard, the club owner, with Ralph Sazio there in the box. Not enjoying entirely what he's seen so far, but his team's still in it. Ruoff hangs one very high. The special teams are right down on top of the receiver with no regard for him whatsoever. And they throw flags immediately. But Randy Rhino, who is trying to catch that ball, is hurt. He got a shot right in the face, it appeared.
John Priestner, number 36, was right down there. I'm not sure whether it hit him on the head or where that ball hit, but certainly there'll be a no-yards penalty.
Begin to wonder if they consider unnecessary roughness on this more than just no yards. Let's see.
They can see John Priestner, number 36. It did hit him right in the back of the helmet, so you might say that's no yards.
Rhino still being attended to. Certainly felt that as Priestner's helmet came right into his face. But Randy's going to be all right. Just stunned for a moment there.
And no yards, number 36.
36 is Priestner, so there will be a walk in the direction of the Hamilton goal line for the no yards infraction. The ball will come all the way up to the 49-yard line of Montreal. That's where they'll scrimmage first down. Well, let's check that. They're going up a little higher. 52-yard line now is where they position.
Must have been a roughing call, Don, not a no yards call.
They announced no yards.
They seem to march out 15 yards.
That's what it looked like.
Here's Randy Rhino as he reaches the sideline here, and he's still pretty groggy. He has a tough time walking that straight line right now, as you can see.
Yeah, well, it's 15 now, of course, for no yards, and Rhino paid dearly for that one. At the 52-yard line, first down for Montreal. Their lead is 10-6.
I don't know if you can see it or not, but Rhino almost had a cut under his chin.
Not surprised. Joe Hocko taken down by Carl Cornell. Hocko is in for David Green.
Well, number 76, Alouettes Nasensky, does a good job now taking on the offensive guard. Mangold coming out there, and he fights to the inside, turning Hocko right into Cornell.
Cornell and Wozniacki, two of the bright lights for Hamilton. Defensively, along with Ben Zambiasi today. Second down, 9. A flag is thrown, holding, and it's overthrown. Keith Baker has it sail over his head with Graham covering him, but no question there. Referee Bill Dell wisely spotted holding back there in the Alouette backfield.
That could have been Doug Payton, number 61, holding Alouettes Nasensky as he tried to push him to the outside, but we'll hear from Bill Dell.
Holding number 58 declined.
That was actually Roland Mangold.
He's trying to hang on to Ramey, who is coming on strong on the quarterback. They decline that because it makes it 3rd down and 9 and forces Montreal to punt right here. Shaw's back with Graves standing at the 15. Good punt by McGrath. It's coming down to Dave Shaw at the 10-yard line. And he doesn't get far. He was rocked by Willie Hampton and Tom Cousineau, shy of the 15-yard line. A 48-yard punt by Jerry McGrath. That's the score. We'll have more after this.
Quite a defensive struggle here at Iverwin Stadium, even more pronounced with the fact that it looks as if he may be gone for the rest of this game. An Achilles tendon injury is the problem. Not fully diagnosed as yet, but obviously he's in pain. Doesn't look as if he'll play anymore.
Rhino's out for Montreal. Jelly's in for him. Into a stack goes Obi Graves, not getting very much, perhaps a couple of yards in the area of the 17-yard line. So injuries to key personnel will have a lot to say about the outcome here today. Right now, Montreal is suffering in that capacity. There's Steve Jelly, young man we mentioned, number 27, who's in for Rhino at the present time.
He's played a fair bit this year, too. When they let Burroughs go out to Calgary, he played a lot when they had the other defensive lineman as an import.
Myler's toss to Harlan, right on the money. It'll be 1st down Hamilton at the 27-yard line.
Don, that has to be one of the best balls that Marler has thrown all afternoon. He really got out to the outside on the rollout to the right with Graves leading him there, but he had something on that ball, and he really threw it with authority. Graves forcing Weir to step around him. Marler stepped up and really delivered that.
John Payne's team trails by 4. That's the first completion this half. Makes it 1st down Hamilton from the 27-yard line. Workendale comes up to block as they give the ball to O.B. Graves. 45-yard line, 1st down again. Wilson finally caught up with the fleet-footed O.B. Graves.
Well, I'll tell you, everyone in the ballpark knew that Graves was going to get that ball, but Corkendale got in motion to the left. Graves went early, stood there, waited for the ball, still got the big yards. He's going to be waiting here for the ball. He's just standing out there. You can see the room he had there. No white sweater anywhere.
Three quick 1st downs in a row for Hamilton. Fumble! It is picked up by, now let's see, Hamilton Tiger Cats have it. Ooh, that could have been tough right there at the 45-yard line. They lost that one.
Well, you talked about big plays that can happen here. McCorkindale, who hasn't carried the ball very much, and that really looked like it was Marler's fault. He wasn't even looking at McCorkindale when he handed off. He was just reaching back and looking the other way, and I don't think he ever made contact with McCorkindale in terms of the handoff pocket.
Never got it properly at all. O.B. Graves pounced back on that football to save it for Hamilton. It's 2nd down and 10. Step up into the arms of Junior Ayew, who flings him down unceremoniously at the 41-yard line to lose 4 more. So Montreal's defensive pressure continues here. Myler and the Cats have trouble getting on track.
Well, Willie Martin was really upset. We watched Joe Scannell on the sideline, and he's got to be getting a little nervous now as the time marches down with the 4-point lead, knowing that breaks could decide this particular ball game and hoping they go his way. But Willie Martin had to be upset. He did a good job of blocking Ayew initially, and then Marler moved right up to where Martin had blocked Ayew.
There's good news for Montreal fans. Randy Rhino's back in on this punt return with Dickie Harris. Ruoff punts it away. Harris, a flag is thrown. Another no yards indication against the Cats near the 40-yard line. So Montreal will move it up again. Tom?
With me now, David Green. And David, you're going to be an unhappy man right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to having a good game today.
What is the diagnosis on the ankle?
Well, I can't put a lot of weight, on my right ankle. They say it was my Achilles.
And how serious would it be? Any idea?
Well, it don't seem to be too serious. It's just that I can't come out of the blocks as, like I normally do.
You just can't spring out of there, eh? It's a defensive struggle.
Yeah, it seems to be.
They have Joe Hocko in for Green. He is set wide left. The penalty against Cornell for no yards has the Alouettes the 53. Here's Detilio. Nikaraki tried to one-hand the ball in a maze of cap defenders. Anderson, Leroy Paul all around him and could not do it.
Now that was a one-receiver pattern. It was a fake bootleg. There was a fake to the left-hand side, and Detilio went to the right, but he got good pressure from the Tiger Cat defense, and Iraqi was the only receiver downfield. Well covered, but almost came up with a great catch.
Gave it quite a shot. Second down from the 53-yard line. And, of course, they're not all Hamilton fans here today. Obviously, this guy's cheering for. Up for Della Riva, and he was hit hard by Randy Graham as he fought for the ball unsuccessfully. So Montreal fails to move it as we look one more time.
Well, Carl Cornell is coming on the blitz along with all the other linebackers. Detilio read it well, tried to get the ball downfield, but Randy Graham did a good job of stripping the ball from the receiver.
Obie Graves. Dave Shaw inside the 20-yard line. Here they come. Just got it away, and a good one it is, too. McGrath really putting well under pressure today. Shaw getting away from Hocko. And then dragged out of bounds by Nikaraki at the 23-yard line to set Hamilton up there after a 41-yard punt by McGrath. The return was 8. We have 3 minutes and 20 seconds until the end of the third quarter.
John Payne hoping that this quarter ends in a hurry because they did choose to give Montreal the wind, what wind there is coming out of the east end of the stadium for the third quarter, and they've had their backs to the wall most of this quarter, but John hoping they can get out of this quarter with only that 4-point deficit, no more anyway.
Yes, so far they have limited the Alouettes to the field goal of 3 points, which has increased their lead to 10-6 over Hamilton. But conversely, Hamilton has had to work from deep in their own end much of this quarter whenever they have had the ball. Marler is rocked by Gregoire and has no one to throw to. Carlin cut in. The ball went out. It'll be second down and 10. Zooms here with just under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter from Hamilton. Mid-November, we certainly cannot complain about the weather conditions here today. Just around the freezing mark. Brilliant blue sky over Ivor Wynne Stadium in Hamilton.
Did you guys see the clock up there? There's 2 minutes and 77 seconds left in the third quarter, it
That's
says.
3:17.
I guess it is. Or 2:17.
Or they made a mistake.
Now
Down
it's
to 2:74 now.
What it is.
Well, we'll get that straightened out. Second down, the 23-yard line, and 10 to go for Hamilton. Here comes Gregoire and Weir and Ayew, and the ball came loose, but it goes to Hamilton with Marler taking a loss back near the 17-yard line. John Payne has to be concerned because Montreal is getting more and more aggressive as time goes on, and here's a man shaken up who is a big part of Montreal's defensive charge, Glenn Weir.
Junior IU and Willie Martin, number 66 for Hamilton, have had a pretty good afternoon at trying to get to each other. This time Martin tries to force him deep, does a pretty good job. The ball was not delivered as Marlowe was forced out of the pocket, and IU was there along with Weir and the rest of the defensive line. Scott and Gregoire putting on some pretty good pressure.
Well, Weir appears to be all right, up and on his way across to the Montreal bench. So Hamilton again forced to give it up via the punt on 3rd down and 16. Ruoff will hit it from just outside the 5-yard line. Alouettes have got Harris and Rhino stationed at about center field. Here's the charge, and it's partially blocked. It's a free ball in there at the 13-yard line. Montreal first down. Willie Martin recovered it for Hamilton. Of course, they haven't got the yards there. Woodrow Wilson, I think, is the man who got through to block much of it.
Well, you're going to see some pressure come from over this way, and they're going to come in here and do a pretty good job of getting some pressure on that. Ruoff, number 10. You got them holding up, and then Woodrow Wilson, number 15, comes from that side, and he just reached out. He didn't sacrifice his body or anything to block that ball. He just got lucky reaching out with his right hand and tipped the ball.
Sacrificed one hand and got the job done. 14-yard line. Montreal first down. Detilio throws back into the middle, incomplete. Could have been intercepted down there. Keith Baker not really in the immediate area of the pass. Well, the overall area he was, but the ball was in behind him. Errol Woods had a possible shot at the intercept, and so it becomes 2nd down. Woodrow Wilson has given Montreal this chance to widen their lead. He has had an interception today.
He's had an interference penalty.
Involved in a big interference penalty, and now this. 1:47 until 3-quarter time. Let's see if they go right back to Baker. They do. He dropped the ball. And again, ever so close to, but not good enough for a touchdown. This drive and the opportunity for the Alouettes.
But you look at the fact that the Montreal Alouettes adjusted again, because in the first half, when they got in these positions, Detilio tried to drop straight back, and they brought the blitz on him, and they got to him a few times. Now he's rolling out with the ball. He had Baker. The ball was thrown perfectly. Baker just didn't catch it. Nobody in his way. He looked downfield for Graham, number 14, before he caught the ball.
Had him right in the hands. Field goal again, 21-yard line. Hash marks left for Jerry McGrath. And he's got it. He's been good at everything since he missed his first one today early in the game. So now the 3 points means the Alouettes have a converted touchdown lead, even though nobody has scored a converted touchdown today.
Well, Biletnikoff on that last play puts a great move on Leroy Paul, number 27, and you can see how alone he was in the end zone, but the ball had already been delivered to number 6, Keith Baker, and if Jerry had been able to hang on to it just a fraction of a second longer, he could have thrown it to Biletnikoff with his stick and probably would have hung on to it.
Sure would have. 13-6 Montreal now. 1:12 left in the 3rd quarter. From the 35, the Cats select to take it.